welcome to the hashtag AskLS First Semester Forum. Before we start, we invite everyone to follow the naming convention for our event. So for our admins, kindly change your name to bracket A bracket name dash position. So for example, bracket A bracket Lilan de la Cruz dash ADSF. So you can see that in your screen. For the Sangu members, kindly change your name to bracket S bracket name dash position. So bracket S bracket VJ Atienza, JG Som representative. And for our dear students who are also here joining us for this important event, kindly change your name to name, comma, year, and course. So Ivan Abong, comma, 4 AB DPIR.
Except for the hosts and the administrators, we also invite everyone to keep your cameras and microphones off throughout the duration of the event. There will be a question and answer portion later in the forum where you will have the chance to ask your questions, so do reserve your queries until then. Thank you.
I think we are seeing a lot of our participants here are entering. Many are freshies. Many are freshies. Yan. So the freshies, welcome to the Ateneo.
Yes, good afternoon sa inyo. Your first event here, am I right?
Yes.
Wow. You guys must be excited for ano nga bang ka-excite sa freshie? Enlistment? Are you excited for enlistment?
Sila lang yung excited sa enlistment. Kasi
Oo,
first pa
tayo
lang
hindi na
nila.
masyado
Hindi
eh.
na masyado. Kaya yan. Ayan. Pero we are also seeing upperclassmen here. So may mga second year, may third year, and I think may mga
Mm-hmm.
handful din of fourth year students.
Oh yes.
Mm-mm. So we're just waiting for some of our participants to join us in this event. But right now we are 938 strong, almost na
Wow.
839 na. And then there are a handful pa on our waiting room, no? So,
Ivan,
yes sir.
maybe we can hold admissions first kasi the
Yes
administrators
sir.
might run out of room.
Baka wala na sila sir sa. Hindi na sila makapasok. Opo. Let's ayan.
So host, please stop admitting from the waiting room.
Let's hold muna po from
Uh,
admitting. Baka po hindi makapasok yung mga sasagot sa ating questions.
Oh,
puro
in
tanong
truth,
lang
magiging
tayo.
ask students na to. Hindi siya magiging ask LS.
LS. Ayan. So again, good afternoon to everyone. Before we start, no, to our fellow students, welcome again. And to our administrators, thank you also for joining us. So welcome to the hashtag LS First Semester Forum. So again, before we start, we invite everyone to follow the naming conventions for our event. So for our admins, you can see it in the screen. So bracket A bracket name dash position. So it's bracket A bracket, for example, Lilander Cruz dash ADSF. For Sangu members, kindly change your name to bracket S bracket name dash position. So that's bracket S bracket VJ Atienza dash JG Somrep. And for our students who are here in this event, kindly change your name to name, comma, year, and course. So, for example, Ivanabong, comma, 4AB DPIR.
Yes, and once again, except for the hosts and the administrators, we invite everyone to keep your cameras and microphones off throughout the duration of the event. Mamaya, there will be a question and answer portion later in the forum where you will have the chance to ask your questions. So do reserve your queries until then. Thank you.
All right. So kindly take note also that this event will be recorded and live streamed via the Ateneo de Manila YouTube channel. As such, we invite everyone to keep your cameras and microphones off throughout the duration of the event. There will be a question and answer portion later in the forum where you will have the chance to ask your questions. So do reserve your queries until then. So thank you very much.
Ivan, maybe we can share the
Yes, sir.
YouTube link to the waiting room.
Yes. Oh. Burn, maybe we can send the YouTube link.
Okay, hold on. I'll send
I'll
it.
send it
Okay.
to the waiting room.
Thank you so much
Okay.
po.
Thank you po.
The YouTube link will also be posted on the Sanguini page po for everyone's information. So you can go to Sangu's Facebook page.
I see Dean pa. Wait.
Good afternoon again, everyone. The event will begin in around a few minutes. We're just waiting for some of our administrators to enter the Zoom room. But thank you again, everyone, for joining us for the hashtag AskLS First Semester Forum. We're honored to have you here in this event. Sir Leland, kindly give us na lang po the heads up no. Pag ano po, pag good to start na, sir.
Yes. Dean Bopit is here.
Hello, Dean Bo Peep.
I think
Hello,
we-
good afternoon, Linan. Good afternoon, Ivan.
Hello. I think we can start. Yeah, I think we can start, Ivan.
Okay, sir. So, ayan, just a reminder again to everyone, to our participants here, kindly follow the naming conventions for our event. So again, for our administrators, it's bracket A, bracket name, dash position. So it's, for example, bracket A, bracket Lilan de la Cruz, dash ADSF. For Sangu members, it's bracket S, bracket name, dash position. So it's bracket S, bracket VJ Atienza, JU some representative, for example. And for our students, we are now almost 1,000 persons strong already in the Zoom room. Kindly change your name to name, comma, year, and course. So for example, I have a Nabong, comma, for ABDPIR.
Yes, and once again, except for the hosts and the administrators, we also invite everyone to keep your cameras and microphones off throughout the duration of the event. There will be a question and answer portion later in the forum where you will have the chance to ask your questions, so do reserve your queries until then. Likewise, please take note that this event will also be recorded and live streamed via the Ateneo de Manila YouTube channel. Thank you.
Thank you. So we can start now. So hello again, everyone, and good afternoon. Welcome to the hashtag AskLS First Semester Forum.
Today, we will be addressing the questions that you might have as we begin the new academic term. We're sure you have many queries and concerns, especially since many changes and shifts will be happening in our learning community.
That's right, Bern, and we're here to help address these questions so that our journey will have a smooth start. That's why for this event, we invited members of the Loyola School's administration.
Yes, Ivan, they're here to tackle the policies that we all need to take note of ahead of the start of the academic term.
That's right, Bern. But before that, I think we should introduce ourselves, no?
Yes, we should. So, hello everyone. My name is Bernice Amanda Mendoza from 3AB Communication. I am the Vice Chairperson of the Sangguniang Department of Administrative Affairs, and I will be one of your hosts for today.
And my name is Ivan Abang from 4AB Diplomacy and International Relations. I am the chairperson of the Sangguniang Department of Administrative Affairs. I'm also one of the hosts for today, and it's nice to see a lot of people joining us both on Zoom as well as on our YouTube live stream.
Indeed. But before we start our forum, let's have an opening prayer, which will be led by Gabriel Gamo from 4BS Life Sciences.
Good afternoon. I encourage everyone to do their sign of faith. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and all the blessings you have bestowed upon us. As we are gathered here today, we ask for your guidance for the upcoming semester, and may we be enlightened during this forum. May you keep us safe from harm and sickness. We also pray for the souls of Rose Fergay, Victor Capistrano, and Genevieve Banyala. May they find peace. Amen. May we find you, our Creator and Lord, our God and Savior, in all things. Saint Ignatius of Loyola, pray for us. In the name of the Father, and of the Son, and of the Holy Spirit. Amen.
Thank you, Biel, for leading our community in prayer and reflection. So to kick off our event, let's hear some remarks from the acting Sangguniang President. So let's give a warm welcome to Ms. Danielle Therese D. Andres.
Yeah. Hello, everyone, especially those who are in the Zoom room as well as those watching from YouTube. Happy Monday to all of you. First of all, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being here with us today. Time seems to fly considering that intersession just ended a few weeks ago, and in more than a week, we'll be welcoming a new semester in this hybrid setup. Of course, as students, we have questions and concerns, especially as we undergo another shift from an online to a hybrid setup. Thus, this Ask LS forum is an opportunity for all of us to address these questions and concerns to our administrators. This event is also timely, considering that enlistment will be starting on Wednesday, which is one of the last rounds of enlistment for my seniors, super seniors, and graduate students, another round for our sophomores and juniors, and the very first nerve-wracking enlistment for our freshmen. At the end of this forum, I hope everyone manages to leave an assured mind and heart, knowing that your questions have been answered, that you have a Sangguniang that is always here for you, and that we have an administration that is always open to address our concerns. Thus, without further ado, I'd like to call on Dean Bo Peep Saloma Akpedono, our Dean for the School of Social Sciences, and the officer in charge for the Office of the Vice President for the Loyola Schools, and her welcoming remarks. Thank you very much.
Hello, good afternoon. All right, so I'd like to welcome you to this afternoon's event. This is communicative action at work through a question and answer. We are hoping that we will be able to mobilize the potential for rationality. Those in the social sciences, or even in the natural sciences and the humanities, we know that the path to knowledge, or when we do research, the path to knowledge begins with a research problem. It begins with a research question. And so today we will gain more knowledge by asking questions. Our administrators are here to give you the answers, but I think also this will be a mutual learning process. We will also be learning from you through the questions that you ask, through the answers that you will give to your own questions and that of others. So I thank the Sangguniang na mga mag-aaral ng mga paaralang Loyola for organizing this event for us this afternoon. I think we can start the path to knowledge.
Thank you very much, Dean Bo Peep, for those inspiring remarks. All right. So Yes, Gubern.
Now we call on the Associate Dean for Student Formation, Dr. Leland Joseph de la Cruz, to introduce the new Dean of the John Gokongwei School of Management.
Thank you, Bern. Okay, so and here maybe we can remove the highlight and then maybe we can highlight Dean Robbie so that you can have a face to associate with the name if you can remove the slides. There you go. I'm Leland de la Cruz, Associate Dean for Student Formation. And I've taken it upon myself to introduce Dean Robbie because he's someone I've known for, I think, 32 years now. Ilan taon na ba, Robbie?
10 lang, 10.
10. Okay. Pa-highlight naman kami dalawa ni Robbie para yeah, si Dean Robbie is actually not new to the Loyola schools, no, to the Ateneo de Manila University. He graduated from here, AB Communications, and eventually went on to do his master's in science, economics for development at Oxford, and his PhD from the IESE Business School in Barcelona. He's taught with us before history, and he actually has very interesting history posts once in a while on Facebook. And he also taught at JG SOM. For a while, he taught at the AIM. And his latest occupation was he was with the World Bank and the International Finance Corporation as the senior private sector specialist. So we thought it might be a good occasion to welcome Dean Robbie Galang to the Loyola Schools. Dean Robbie.
Thank you very much, Leland. No, so on behalf of JGSOM, we're very glad to participate in this forum. We're very glad that this was organized. At some point, my colleagues, my students, we will be explaining all the improvements and enhancements to the JGSOM curriculum that we'll be doing, especially in terms of incorporating more innovation, digitalization, inclusion, sustainability, and all of the other targets of Ateneo de Manila University. But before that, I think first things first, we need to get you all back on campus, and we will put JG Som's resources on standby to make sure that this transition from online to face becomes very seamless. No? So we're also here, very glad to listen to your questions because we also internally have a lot of questions. So hopefully we can co-create answers together as we explore this new normal of hybrid digital education processes. So thank you very much, and I look forward to this forum.
Thank you so much, Dean Robbie. And with that, let's now move to the forum proper. So for the forum proper, each office will have a chance to answer some of the questions that were sent by our fellow students through the form that was released by the Sanggunian just last week. So that form actually garnered 200 questions, and we'll go through as much of them as possible. So I think because of that amount of questions, no, Bern, a lot of our fellow students talaga are very interested about the latest updates in our university.
Yeah, that's so true naman eh. So we do thank our administrators for being present in today's event. For everyone's reference, their order of presentation is as follows. First, we'll be having the Ateneo Salt, followed by the school registrar, the Office of the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, the Office of Health Services, the Vice President for Administration, the Office of Student Services, the Office of Facilities and Sustainability, the Office of Management Information Systems, the Ateneo Residence Halls, and the Office of Admission and Aid.
We would like to remind everyone that if you have additional questions which might not be covered by this segment, you will have the chance to ask them during the latter part of the event because later we'll be having an open forum. It would be best if you would send in those questions during that portion, during the open forum portion later, since additional questions will not yet be entertained for this part.
Yes, and with that, I think it's time to start the forum. Moderating this portion is once again the Associate Dean for Student Formation, Dr. Leland Joseph R. de la Cruz. Sir Leland, thank you so much for being here with us. You have the floor, sir.
Okay, thank you, Vern. And I'll ask Ivan to co-host with me.
No problem, sir.
So we will start with the Ateneo Salt, and we will ask Sir Galvin, no, to talk about the difference between online flex and on-site. So there are lots of questions on social media about what those terms mean. So maybe we can clarify the terms. Go ahead, Galvin.
Sige. Thank you, Sir Lilan. And good afternoon to everyone. So as maybe we can start with just recognizing the three modalities, the three terms that we are now using. I know that for those of you who've been with us in the past few semesters, you've encountered many different terms about our modalities, but we've tried to streamline the terms into three: on-site, flex, and online. So I guess one of the main challenges in terms of calibrating your knowledge is that we used a term called hybrid before. So hybrid in the literature is really simply putting together the online and on-site modality, no, in general. No? So when we talked about hybrid learning in the intersession and in the pilot, what we actually meant there was all of the students in the course will either be online or on-site. And I think one of the main differences between hybrid and flex, and I think that's one of the main questions here, is that when you talk about hybrid, we're talking about everyone in your section either being on-site or online. But when we talk about flex, we're beginning to talk about that mix of modalities within a certain section. So for example, if you're imagining a classroom wherein some of the students are on Zoom and some of the students are in the classroom, you're talking about the flex mode there. Okay. So having said that, just to quickly reiterate the three modalities. So our new on-site right now actually accommodates the hybrid definition. No? So meaning, if you are taking a course that's tagged as on-site, that means that your teacher may decide what is most appropriate in terms of modality, from meeting you every week, every day, to meeting you, to assigning you asynchronous work on a Tuesday and then meeting you every Friday, for example. No? So within that range, students who will sign up for an on-site course will be able to experience all of those modalities. Again, based on your teacher's discretion, based on what they feel will be most appropriate. Now, I think if you read the memo, one important thing to take note of is that only regular students, non-online students, will be allowed to sign up for on-site courses. No? That allows the teachers to assume that everyone is either on-site or everyone is either online. The second modality is flex. Flex is still defined the same way we've defined it in the past few terms in the intersession and in the second semester pilot, wherein online students can sign up for flex courses because flex courses will accommodate them. No? Meaning, for example, if I teach a Tuesday, Friday class, for example, on the Friday, if I have an on-site class, maybe 5, 6, 8 of my students might still be online, no? Because they've requested to be online, that request has been approved. And so they'll be joining us through Zoom, and then the on-site students will be joining us in the classroom. So online students can sign up for a flex type of course. They'll be accommodated there. And finally, we have the online course, which is very similar to what you've been going through in the past few years, where everything is fully online, with a mix of asynchronous and synchronous work depending on the discretion of the teacher as to what's appropriate in their course. No? Now, for the online courses, this is primarily designed to be offered to students who have been tagged as online or have requested to be online. However, there are some online courses that might accommodate on-site students as well, no? Because for some online courses, maybe they might only have 2 online students, so they will have some slots for regular students as well. No? So for online courses, it can accommodate a mix of online students and regular or on-site students, no? Or those or the majority of the population. So I hope that clarified the terms. Again, there are just 3 now: on-site, flex, and online. And if you're wondering about the word hybrid, again, hybrid is now subsumed under on-site.
Thanks, Calvin. So just to clarify certain things, if it's an online class, all the sessions will be online, right? If it's
Yes, sir.
an
Yes.
if it's an on-site class, it doesn't necessarily mean that all the sessions will be on-site.
Yes. So following the ADAA policy recently released, the assumption is at least 50% of your sessions will be on-site. And then the teacher has a discretion as to whether the other days will be on-site as well or online.
Yeah, maybe it's a good time to bring in our registrar, Dr. De Leon. And Galvin, you can stay for a while.
Sure.
Because the question is also like, who can sign up for what? So can I ask the Zoom host to add a spotlight on Dr. De Leon, our school registrar? Hello, Dr. MM. All right, so
Hi,
to further clarify these things, if it's an on-site class, online students cannot enlist for an on-site class. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. If it's an online class, there are some online classes where on-site students can enroll for the online class.
Yes, so there are two types of online classes. One that is restricted. Okay, so departments specifically request for certain online classes to be restricted to online students only. Okay, and there are online classes that is unrestricted. Therefore, on-site students may enroll in that class.
All right. So if you're an on-site student, you can enroll for certain online classes.
Yes.
All right. Thank you. Tapos, Galvin, does flex mean the teacher will do simultaneous? Ibig sabihin, while the teacher is giving inputs to the on-site students, the teacher is also giving inputs to the online students.
So that might be a common experience, but within the flex mode, the teacher has the flexibility as to how they might accommodate the online students. So for example, for some teachers who may not be comfortable with managing two sets of students at the same time, maybe their flex mode might be what we call the asynchronous synchronous flex, wherein they will deal with the on-site students and then they will either assign something asynchronously to the online students as an alternative. Some teachers may also meet the online students separately, and we've seen this happen in the past semesters. So some teachers may not want to manage these two sets of students. So what they do is, in a certain schedule, they will meet only the on-site students, and in another schedule, they will meet all the online students on a Zoom platform like this. So it's up to the teacher, Sir Leland, and the teacher should be able to announce that and include that in the syllabus.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Galvin. So we'll go to Doc MM for other questions for the registrar's office. Has the registrar's office taken certain initiatives to put together the online students, at least for the block classes?
That is, it is still ongoing. We are still blocking students and we have yet to match them to online classes. Yes, it's a very tedious process and we're trying to beat the deadline.
Yeah, but best efforts, no, Doc MM.
Best effort, best effort. At the most, we will be assigning online students to flex. But as of now, we've seen a dramatic decrease in the number of online students. So we are hoping, most likely, it is the on-site students who will be assigned to online classes because the trend is increasing naman for online classes. Yeah.
So it isn't so much that the online students will be taking on-site classes because they're not allowed to.
Yeah, that can be. Yeah, but we have enough online classes for online students, definitely.
But it's more likely that you might end up with an online class even if you're an on-site student.
Yes.
Okay, sige. So I think that answers the questions about blocks. Ivan, what other questions are there for the register?
Let me check, sir. I think there's a question here. Wait, let's see. There's a question about this for Doc MM also. How does auditing work? Will we have to pay fees for audited classes?
All right, audit classes are the same as your regular class wherein you have to pay fees for that because you're going to attend the class. Unlike credit classes, audit classes will not expect students under.
I think Dr. Leon
Just like,
Rose. Go ahead.
You will not be graded like other regular students. So instead, you will just receive like a satisfactory grade, right? And it cannot be the course that you got as an audit class will not be credited to any degree program. Let's say, for example, you want to earn a degree, so you cannot have that credited anymore.
Okay,
I guess
thank you, Doctor.
another
Yes, ma'am.
question, Doc MM, is are the learning modalities of pre-enlisted classes pre-assigned? Do we have the option to choose online or flex, or will we automatically take them on site?
We'll have to see. We've yet to see the data. We're not yet. The data isn't final yet. As much as possible, we will match it. If you are fully online student, then we'll match you with the fully online class. Okay.
Yeah.
That at least we can promise, or at least at the flex level na lang.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. De Leon. Dr. Hofilenia had something on chat saying that students cannot audit courses that are required in their programs. I have a question for the deans, and maybe our veteran deans can come in, Doc Bopit, Doc Jonathan, Doc Paeng. Because some classes are on-site only, but the student is online, approved for online. So paano yun? Parang all the options are on-site, but the student is an online student. So what can the student expect? Dean Jonathan, would you like to take that question?
I'd like to know first whether the request was paid on time.
Yes.
Because there was a deadline naman.
Yes. So let's assume that they requested for online were approved, but when they saw their class schedules, all the options are on-site.
Okay. Well, then we'll have to talk to the departments offering those courses. It can happen that the modality of the class becomes flex, or the teacher can make arrangements, special arrangements for the students. I trust that it's not a big number.
No,
it's
probably
maybe
not.
yeah. So that it can be done. There will be solutions to it as long as you have the information.
All right. So they'll just tell the teacher that they were approved for online.
They'll have to tell, they have to tell their departments first of all.
Okay.
If they haven't. No.
So their home departments.
Yes, and then the home department would get in touch with the service departments, because if you're a freshman, you take classes from English, you don't take it from one department. So maybe there was some miscommunication somewhere.
Yeah, so it's better to tell their home department, and the home department will tell the service department.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, Dean Jonathan. There's a phone-in question here on chat. Can I take or enlist all my subjects online, even if I didn't apply for the online home? I think theoretically you can, so long as the online classes are not restricted. No? They're not restricted to online only students. But I doubt that will happen. You probably will have some on-site classes if you are an on-site student. All right, so I think we can move now to Dean Dr. Hofilenia, our Associate Dean for Academic Affairs. Doc Jojo. Can we highlight Doc Jojo? So now I hope it's now clear what is online, what is flex, and what is on-site, and what you can enlist for. No? Now that you're enlisted, the next question is, so what are the expectations? And ever since the intersession, we've reintroduced the cut system, and withdrawal. Although it's a little modified from what we had when we were still on site. So maybe Doc Jojo, you can start by explaining that.
All right. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. As Dr. Leland said, we are reinstituting the checking of attendance in class, and a student has to, obviously, one of the most important expectations of a student is to attend class. So the students will be allowed a certain number of absences per class. That number is pegged at the equivalent of 20% of class meetings. And class meetings refer to both on-site class meetings as well as online synchronous sessions. So the combination of that. But we are allowing now a distinction between absences that are excused and absences that are unexcused. So the 20% requirement, let's talk in real numbers, for a 3-unit class, which meets twice a week, then the maximum number of allowable absences is 6. And the 6 absences there are unexcused absences. And can you just read the long memo that we released? Because we define unexcused by defining what is excused. So there are certain cases where an absence can be excused, and then for other cases that are not in that list, it is the instructor that will determine whether an absence can be excused or not.
So, Dr. Jojo, there's a question here. So if I have symptoms, I can be excused from attending the on-site class.
If you have symptoms?
Yeah, I guess the meaning here is
That's
symptoms,
COVID.
COVID symptoms.
Well, for absences, we will ask the students to submit a medical certificate to the Office of Health Services, and it is OHS that will verify the situation of the student, and the OHS will also notify the teachers of the medical condition of the student. Okay. And usually the OHS will include the length of time that the student has to be absent.
Dr. Jojo, there are some questions here about students who are coming from abroad or the provinces, and they may not make it back by the start of the SEM. Is that considered an excused absence?
Well, we're hoping to leave that to the teachers to decide. If there have actually already been students who've inquired from the Office of the ADA, so we're putting that all together so that we can share the requests with the deans of the schools to help them also to help also to determine whether these can be considered excused absences.
All right, thanks, Dr. Jojo. Let's ask Ivan, are there other questions for Dr. Jojo that I may have missed?
Yes, sir. There's a question here. Dr. Jojo, this is from an incoming freshman. So the incoming freshman asked po, would it be possible to request for fully online classes in the second semester? So this is for the second semester po. Or even shift modes in the middle of the first semester. Shall on-site classes rather in the first semester prove too strenuous for their health condition? So that's a question po from the freshman.
Okay. The request for whether on-site or online is every semester, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct, Doc MM? The request will be every sem?
Yes. For now, yeah, it will be every semester.
So if based, thanks, Doc MM, if based on the student's experience, he or she is really having difficulty with on-site classes in the first sem, then make the request for the second sem, and it will be evaluated the same way that requests are evaluated now. Now, with regard to shifting from on-site to you're saying shifting from on-site to fully online.
Yes.
That might be difficult because that may necessitate, unless the student is in a flex class, that may necessitate a change in section, which we can't allow midstream. No? So hopefully that student is in a flex class so that if there's a need to go online, that is something that the student can discuss with his or her teacher.
Okay, thanks for Doc Jojo. Actually, Doc Jojo, you also touched upon one of the other question. Kaya someone also asked naman po, can they take fully online and shift in the middle po of the first semester due to personal or family medical reasons? But I think, Doc Jojo, you touched also upon that.
Okay.
May tanong dito. Can a student with symptoms continue to take classes online I think the answer is yes if there's the option, no? If it's a flex class, for example.
Yeah.
It's possible. So you can keep up with
Yeah.
with the class, assuming that you're up to it, no? The
Yeah.
symptoms are not severe.
Yes.
All right. Maybe we'll pull in a dean for the next set of questions, and also Doc Jojo. Maybe Dean Paeng, another one of our veteran deans. Because some students are asking, what if they're scared of coming to class? Say because a classmate is symptomatic. Will they be excused if they don't show up to class? Is apprehension in a sense a valid reason not to go to an on-site class?
Hi, Leland. Well, first of all, we recommend that any students with symptoms are already taken upon themselves not to enter the campus, to avoid attending any on-site classes, to avoid putting their classmates and faculty and our staff at risk. But if a student is concerned about a possible exposure, we can just have him or her consult our Office of Health Services if there is any genuine fear for having been exposed to COVID-19. But in the end, we have systems and protocols in place. Hopefully, it will prevent any symptomatic students from entering campus and joining our on-site classes. So we implore the community, our students included, to just be vigilant and to exercise caution whenever they experience any symptoms.
Yeah, so I guess on that note, it might be a good time to segue to our Office of Health Services. So for the meantime, thank you, Doc Jojo and Dean Paeng, for your answers. We'll get back to you if there are other questions for you later.
Yeah,
There's a question here about QPI that we'll talk about or maybe we'll just email you the answer, right, because it's very specific. No? But maybe we can highlight Doc Henry de la Cruz, who is the director of the Office of Health Services. Hi, Doc Henry.
Hello, Doc Henry.
Hello.
All right, Doc Henry. So ano bang protocol natin if a student is symptomatic? Of course, the student cannot come to campus. No?
Yes.
For
a student who becomes ill with symptoms or is confirmed to have a positive result, no, will be required to take a 7-day isolation period. No? In the past semester, you might have been informed if you were a close contact, there is a 5-day quarantine period. According to the latest IATF, no, which issued a statement last July, no, and this was already vetted by the Office of the University Physician with the Quezon City LGU, that it is no longer required for close contacts to be quarantined. No, so only those who are symptomatic are going to be asked to stay home. No, if you are a close contact, you will only have to observe for symptoms and report if you develop any symptoms. There's no more quarantine period.
all right. So I guess one of the questions here is that what if the student, is told that you don't have to quarantine, like their classmate develops symptoms or is positive for COVID, so they still can come to class?
Yes.
As long as they weren't a close contact, or even if they're a close contact,
even if
they can
they're
still...
a close contact, they can still go back to class.
Okay.
The presumption is that the safety of mask wearing and physical distancing, is enough protection at this point, no?
But maybe that's a point of emphasis, Ren, no, Doc Henry. A point of emphasis here is that when you're eating together with other people, you're very vulnerable to contracting COVID.
That's true, no? But we're just following the directive, no, that the transmission, no, at this point, at this alert level, is such that it is no longer very high risk, no? So even with close contacts, we will just have to observe. And true enough, no, in the past semester, uh, I think only one or two, no, there were one or two, no, close contacts, but most of the close contacts, no, which numbered already in the hundreds, no, did not develop symptoms.
Okay, so thank you. I hope that clarifies. On there are a lot of concerns about when students are asked to quarantine.
Yes.
So the policy is actually not conservative. It's people can come so long as they don't develop symptoms.
Of
All
course,
right.
if the alert level changes, then we will have to notify everyone, no? There can be changes to this policy depending on the level of transmission uh, in NCR, no?
Hmm. Ivan, are there other COVID-related questions for Doc Henry that I may have missed?
Yes, sir. Sir, before that though, I just want to remind our audience to reserve muna their questions later for the open forum. Kasi I'm seeing some of our participants messaging me their question. Don't worry, we'll go through them. Pero baka kasi matabunan lang siya. So we'll go through them later. Pero mukhang the questions po later are also for some are for Doc Henry also. So mukhang masusuki si Doc Henry sa atin later, no? Regarding COVID po, sir, no?
Yeah.
Okay,
Before
sir.
we go to immunization.
Okay, sir. I'm also checking, eto, sir. This is also for Doc Henry. This is related to on-site and online classes. So the question of the student is, can a student who tested positive for COVID switch to online learning during their isolation period? So if yes, what are the requirements for students to be able to return to on-site classes after their isolation period? So this is a two-part question po, Doc Henry.
Maybe more of the second part for Doc
More
Henry
on
because
the second part po.
the first part is more academic.
Academic.
Opo. So, yes po. So the first question, the second half po is if if they are done na po with the isolation, what are the requirements for them to go back to on-site classes?
We monitor students with who are symptomatic so that at the seventh day of symptoms, if the symptoms are relieved, no, most mild cases are relieved in the first 3 to 5 days. But if the symptoms are still problematic, no, and we do have some students, no, like this, then an extension of the period of isolation may be recommended, but this is on a case-to-case basis. So before going back to class, usually we have an end of isolation interview with the student. No, now if there are no issues or problems, then the advice that is initially given to the teacher that the isolation period will be for 7 days will hold. Now we don't write to say that she can or cannot come back. We only write the teachers to say if there is an extension. So it's understood if the student has finished the 7 day quarantine period, that means that we have interviewed this student to be clear, no? So we have done this for every symptomatic patient, no? So you don't have to worry that symptomatic students can go on campus. They cannot.
Yeah. And it's very important that students inform the OHS if they're feeling ill. Actually, it doesn't have to be just COVID, no? But for any illness, please inform OHS because they can inform your teachers. Some teachers will accept it if you tell them directly that I have COVID, but some teachers would like to have the endorsement of OHS. So go ahead, Doc Henry.
I just like to make two things clear, no? Symptoms at this time can be variable, no, because we all have vaccinations, no, so that even a cold, even a sore throat can turn out to be COVID positive, no. So just as a precaution, you may be asked to isolate even if you are negative, no. We have negative students who later on the 5th day, which is the recommended day for testing, will turn out to be positive, no. The second point, no, to make is that we cannot certify you if you tell us a month later, no. There's no way for us to verify. We will just tell your teachers, she told us this, but we cannot verify anymore, huh? So please, I mean, we're always here. There's no reason you can't get in touch with us. There are multiple ways that you can contact the OHS via mobile, via the email, via our website, via our Facebook, no? So multiple. Kung hindi kayo makapasok, then I am not sure why. But
Yeah.
okay.
And the reviews of Doc Henry's office are very good, right? From the students, no? So they're very accommodating for various concerns. Doc Jojo raised her hand, so let's.
Yeah, I
Yes.
just wanted to add to what Doc Ken said, that for students, it's actually simpler to contact the OHS rather than to contact all your teachers.
Yeah.
Because with the OHS, it's one message, it's one email to them, and then once they verify, they will take care of informing all of your teachers.
Thank you, Doc Jojo. Maybe before we talk about other OHS-related concerns, I'll segue to the deans again. Because one of the concerns that students have is that they don't want to miss class. No, they don't want to miss class. So sometimes they even don't say the truth, no, in their health declaration form, because if they say that they have symptoms, then they won't get a blue pass. No? So what reassurance can we give to students that it's really better for them to just stay at home? No, what accommodations will teachers be giving? Of course, this is on a case-to-case basis, but maybe some assurance from the deans might help, that this is something that they will talk to their faculty about. I think Dean Bopit, ikaw na lang hindi sumasagot. So Dean Bopit from SOS. You're on mute. Dean Bopit, still mute. The question was, what kind of reassurance can we give? Wala. Okay. So maybe while Dean Bopit fixes her audio, Dean Jonathan or Dean Paeng, could you take the question?
I think in general, teachers are very accommodating for as long as you inform them your situation and you have your documentation. Then, I mean, we've been doing this for the last 2 years. So I think the same accommodations will apply, because all sections anyway will have their what do you call that, learning management system on. No? So all courses are there anyway. So there's a fallback in case if you're an on-site student and suddenly you can't go to class. No?
Yeah.
There's that fallback. It's still there. So just inform the teacher.
Thank you, Dean Jonathan. And your teachers also don't want to be exposed, no? So if you're symptomatic, please don't go to class. Sila rin yung may expose kapag pumasok kayo. No? So let's just manage this as a community, no? Let's help each other. So we will also help you if you turn out to be symptomatic, and we'll try to figure out how to make certain accommodations for you. All right. So having said that, maybe we can go back to Doc Henry, because there are a number of questions about vaccination. No? So first, Doc Henry, there's a question here. Can we enter the campus even if you're only partially vaccinated? I'm not sure. First, maybe for COVID, no? Can we enter campus even if you're only partially vaccinated for COVID?
Okay. In the last semester, the Quezon City LGU imposed a no vaccination, no entry policy. That was beyond the school. That is an LGU policy. That if it was not enforced, we would not be allowed to operate. No. But in the last month, so this is a new development. They have already relaxed the rules, such that the rule was, if you are unvaccinated, you have to get an RT-PCR test every 2 weeks to be allowed back on campus. No, but as of July, this even the Quezon City LGU has relaxed that requirement, which means that you may already come on campus without the need for testing. So there's no more what you call this uh, restriction on vaccination. But I'd like to assure the students we already have a 95% vaccination rate, no? So that is really what they call herd immunity, no? I mean, of course, we cannot control the bigger picture of the exposure that you may get outside, no? But at least within the campus, no, we have reached a very good vaccination rate, no?
Thank you, Doc Henry. Doc Henry, there are many questions about the health records, particularly the immunization requirements. Maybe, Ivan, you want to ask some of the questions there?
Sure po, Sir Leland. Doc Henry, one of the questions po is, this is regarding po the record. And also related po to the previous question on vaccines. So is it okay if my immunization record isn't yet complete in the Blue Pass? So, and is it required to complete all those vaccines? I think I lost my vaccine cards. So I think, Doc Henry, this is not just about the COVID vaccine, but also the other vaccines po that are required for our students.
Okay, let's remember that it's not only COVID that can cause outbreaks, no? So measles, chickenpox, no, and hepatitis, no, are all tetanus, diphtheria, no, and pertussis, no, have been no, are capable of producing outbreaks in close when you have close contacts, no. So this is a long-standing requirement, no, that even the CHED recognizes, no, so that before you could not even enroll without it, no. But because of the health situation at the time, no, of COVID, a lot of the students, no, were not submitting their complete immunization records, no. Now that we're coming back to classes, however, no, we still want to maintain that there should not be outbreaks of these very highly infectious diseases, no. This is really for your protection and the protection of the entire community, no, that we are requiring. Now, if you have not yet completed or if you have lost your immunization record, no, the options are to get a serologic test, no. You will the information you will get from a serologic test will be whether you have the antibodies to protect you, no. And if you do not, then your physician will know what to do to administer, no, the series, no. Now we understand that not all the, I mean, if you've newly found that you're not yet protected, you cannot complete this in a month, no. Sometimes there's a spacing, no. For example, for hepatitis 0, 1, and 6 months, no. All we need if you are still completing your vaccinations is a schedule, no, certified by your physician that you're gonna get them, and that will be okay, no. Because even with the first dose, you already have a measure of protection. Okay, but so yes, it is a requirement, no. Same with the unahin ko na, no, yung chest x-ray and requirement, no, because we again, this is a long even before COVID, it has been a requirement, no, because we are in third world, no. We have the possibility of TB, is present, and an asymptomatic TB patient can infect as many as 10, no, in one room. So you imagine, no, for every room that student will go to, you are multiplying that risk 10 times, no. And so there are less restrictions on health clinics now, no, so that I think it's something that you can comply with. Please do comply before enrollment, no, because we cannot just lift your hold order without without the result itself.
Yeah, just a fair warning to all students during the intersession. A lot of students did not update their health records and they had problems with enlistment. So they panicked. I think you still have time, although it's a little late, pero sige na. There's still time. Hopefully, your hold orders can be lifted if you take care of it soon. Your enlistment is already starting this Wednesday, no, Ivan?
Yes, sir. This Wednesday.
It might be actually late, very late. Because
But you
there's
can do
too,
it one day. You can get a
yeah,
result in one day.
get a result in one.
25%, huh? Have not
Hmm,
yet submitted.
that's a lot,
That's a lot.
25%. So if you complain about not being able to enlist, it's actually your responsibility. It's the health record that's the problem. As Doc Henry said, if you're not completed with the vaccination, just get a certification, Doc Henry, no, a schedule of vaccinations when you will do the vaccinations. All right. Ivan, did we miss anything for Doc Henry?
Sir, there's another question here. It's not related to COVID or the vaccine requirements. This is related to monkeypox kasi
Okay. Yeah.
Doc Henry, there is news po regarding the beginning po of the monkeypox in the Philippines na may nakapasok po na may monkeypox. So the question of the student is, how would any health record or campus guidelines be adjusted, especially in anticipation of the potential outbreak of monkeypox given its mode of transmission? Since iba daw po yung mode of transmission of COVID and the monkeypox.
The transmission is direct contact with body fluids or prolonged contact. So there's also an aerosol component, no? And both of these should be addressed by the protocols we have, no? Which means that you wear your mask, no? You report if you have symptoms, no? And as much as possible, observe the physical distancing. Those are universal precautions for any outbreak, not just COVID, but monkeypox and whatever you have.
Okay, thank you very much, Doc Henry. I think there are more questions for the open forum for you, but we'll give you a break for now. And we'll move to OSS, Sir Cholo Malilin. Sir Cholo, I saw you come in just a while ago.
Hi.
There you go.
To rejoin my video. There you go. Hello, everyone, especially our freshies.
Sorry, wait, hold on.
And may I also give my warm regards to our new Dean of JG SOM, Dean Robbie Galang. This is quite a reunion. Welcome to the admin.
Yeah, he was your org mate, right?
Yes, we are org mates long time ago, ages ago. Okay, guys, so we're just about ready to welcome you back in school. I guess primarily we'll have to inform you about our ID wearing rule. So the seniors are familiar with this. When we are all back on site, it is primary to our purposes of security that we all come in the campus as authorized members of the community. And since we do not have a uniform, the only uniform we have is our ID. So we have been distributing the ID in the past 2 years that we were on lockdown. We have been mailing the IDs to you. So I hope that the upperclassmen, the sophomores and juniors, you have received your IDs by now. If not, it's probably still with us. So the first chance you get to step into campus, do drop on by. Oh no, sorry, not right away. We will schedule an ID distribution period, which we will issue by way of a memo. We have not changed the student ID design for the past 3 years. So the ID design we've been using since the school year 2019-2020 is still the very nice ID that we have. We have the best ID among all the units. Compare it with the high school and the grade school. We have the best ID with the holograms and everything. But so we've retained this ID design primarily because There will be changes in the ID in the coming few months. Actually, starting in the second semester, we will start to use the RFID feature of our physical IDs. So we decided not to change the IDs first, para lang we can begin from scratch, and any changes moving forward with the ID system, we can just uniformly implement. No? So we're still using so we don't need to issue new IDs to the upperclassmen. So sophomores to seniors, and including the grad students if there are a few around, use your ID. If you still have them, the only thing we will need to do for your old IDs is to validate them. So a validation means we will authorize the ID by way of a sticker. So there is a new sticker that will be issued for the first semester for school year 2022-2023. You will all receive that by way of a scheduled validation period. We will all see you again at the Rizal Mini Theater, and you will go through your ID validation. The freshies, you will receive your IDs sometime in the third week of August if things go as planned. Sorry, we cannot get you your IDs in time for ORSEM, but it's okay. Kasi the process needs for you guys to be enrolled first, to be in our system for registration so we can print your IDs. Okay, so that will take a while. You will need to enroll first, pay for your tuition, and then we print your IDs. So we'll try to print them as fast as possible so you'll have them definitely by the end of the month. We have issued IDs for the incoming freshies, so you should have already by this time applied for your IDs. We're trying to make everything online, all the processes online for application. So we are not accepting anymore mga ID picture taking. We used to have ID photo taking as part of our ID processes, but we don't do that anymore. Just submit a recent photo along with your e-signature on the G form, which accepts applications for new IDs. Now, for those of you who may have lost your ID, upperclassmen, and you may have lost your IDs, we also will have a process for ID replacement, but you will have to pay an ID replacement fee for that. So the freshies don't need to pay anything. You paid for your ID through your tuition. For those who will need ID replacements, you need to pay 300 pesos. And we've also made that cashless. You need not go to the cashier and line up anymore. There will be QR codes for online payments. You can pay through GCash, through our new payment facility called PayBiz. So that's going to be very convenient. And then as soon as we confirm your payments, then you can get your IDs during your scheduled ID distribution periods at the RMT. Okay. Yes, I saw this question that there was an option that the IDs be delivered, but that option is only available now for students who will be purely online. Okay, so purely online meaning may mga estudyante tayo who will be in the provinces because of their conditions, comorbidity, they cannot make it to school. So we will mail their IDs. That option was just for those types of students. But for the rest of you who will be on site, who are required to attend on-site classes, we will schedule your ID claiming and ID validation by way of a memo. So we will be releasing that within this week. Sige, hindi ko na sasagutin mo na yung
Sir Cholo. Yeah, maybe Sir Cholo can answer the other questions on chat.
Yes, I will do that. There. The next thing I'd like for you to know is we are still very busy keeping you guys abreast of student announcements, bulletins, and notices by way of memos released by the VPLS or by your deans or by the ADAA and all of these types of offices. And we do this through our one-stop shop called the LS1 website primarily. So it's very easy to remember. Just type in go.ateneo.edu/ LS1, and this is case sensitive there. I just put it up on the chat. That is your portal to the LS1 website, where you will find all of the various memos and announcements of the school. This is critical because particularly during this time when we may need to suspend on-site classes because of typhoon signals and all of that, but there are already memos naman covering class suspensions and the like. We are also on Facebook. Sir Chris, if you may kindly just type in the LS1 address on Facebook. That's Ateneo SBB on Facebook, where you will see us daily updating you with notices and memos and other announcements of the school. And of course, we are busy answering your questions and queries through our real-time help desk. You can chat with the LS1 also there from 8 to 5 Mondays to Fridays, and from 8 to 12 noon on Saturdays. Just type up ls.one, ls.one at ateneo.edu. You can email us or chat with us, and we get to your questions right away. Okay, so that's the OSS for you for now. There are other services available, like, of course, as soon as you start school, your student insurance will be in full effect. So you're covered by as much as 50,000 pesos for medical reimbursement, for hospitalization, and even for death and dismemberment. So you are fully covered by our student insurance, which you paid for during tuition. And we have other services also for your safety, security, and your well-being. So for any other questions, just type it up and I will gladly answer it for you. Have a good school year ahead, guys.
Thanks, Sir Cholo. Yung LS1, there is a FAQ there. No? So a lot of the common questions like how do you shift, how do you enter campus, it's all there. And then maybe I can ask Doc Jojo to put on the chat the link for the ADAA website, because there are also a lot of questions, FAQs there. Like how do you shift, how do you minor? Sometimes when I read Admo Freedom Wall, I just want to type in the FAQs section there. We should make it a habit. Don't ask social media what the processes are. I mean, we already have all of these sites where there you go. Thank you, Dr. Hofilenia. Just go to that site and it has a list of procedures that you have to take note of. The common ones like shifting, minoring, overload, everything's there. It's really a one-stop shop. So make it a habit to visit LS1 and to visit the ADAA site. The ADAA site for the frequently asked questions about academic procedures. All right, thank you, Sir Cholo. Now we'll move to facilities. Sir Eli Pan, OFS, representing OFS. Some of the common questions for OFS are, okay, so we have online classes, on-site classes. What if I have online classes, but I am on-site? Where do I go?
Hi, good afternoon. The assigned online classrooms are Bellarmine 206, 208, 211, 306, 308, and 310.
Ayun. Sir Chris, do we have a slide of that? Maybe we can show that, or we'll make an announcement about the
I'll put it on chat muna, Sir Lan,
okay.
And then we'll make the announcement.
Yeah, but in general, Bellarmine.
Bellarmine.
Second floor, Sir Eli?
Yes. Second floor and third floor.
Third floor. General guidelines, Sir Eli, for use of the Bellarmine classes?
Still the same, 1 meter physical distance. So, kahit sa cafeteria, ganun pa rin.
Tapos bring your earphones.
Yes.
Saan pa, Sir Eli, pwedeng on-site class, online class, on-site? There's a library.
So far, yun lang po yung na-assign na. Pero pwede naman sa ibang mga venues. Kanya lang, baka ma-disturb sila. Pero kasi air condition rooms naman.
Yeah, I think the Rizal Library is open to people to do their online classes. Mateo Ricci or Rizal Library, 5th floor. Sir Ellie, yung isang tanong, yung sa pagkain, cafeteria. So, what will be available when the first semester starts and we'll have more or less about 9,000 students on campus?
Yes, magpo-fall operations naman na yung AMPC. Magkakaroon silang additional 6 to 8 food stalls.
Okay.
And sa second floor, magkakaroon ng 7 additional food stalls. So, I think, cover naman. And alam ko, magbubukas na rin naman yung e-bikes sa serving.
Okay, and there's still the ISO canteen, okay. And I think LST. I want any other facility questions for Sir Ellie?
Hi, Sir Ellie. Hindi ko po sure, sir, if sa OFS to, but this is regarding the OBF Wi-Fi.
Kay ano na yan, si Sir JP.
Sir JP na po. Okay, sige.
So, okay na tayo kay
Save
Sir
natin kay Sir
Ellie.
JP yun.
Salamat, Sir Ellie.
Thank you, Sir Ellie.
Thank you.
Ngayon, si Sir JP of the Gregorio of OMIS, Office of Management Information Systems.
Hello, Sir JP.
Ito ba si Sir JP? There he is. Hello, Sir JP.
Hello.
Ivan, sige, tanong for Sir JP.
Sir JP, hello. We have many questions po kasi regarding the OBF Wi-Fi. So, Sir JP, the question po of the students are, if there are changes na po when it comes to the OBF Wi-Fi in a sense that is the connectivity daw po expanded to different classrooms and to buildings to make sure po that it's strong, especially for those who have online classes but are taking it on campus.
We're talking about Wi-Fi, ano? Not the OBF email.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Sir Ellie could have answered that kanina, but as far as I know, sorry, again, ang coverage ng ano natin, ang clear na classrooms that are fully parang Wi-Fi covered would be CTC, the whole building of CTC. Now, the rest of the buildings natin sa Loyola campus, the target is actually naka-ready na siya. It just so happens na yung routers, familiar naman kayo dyan, the routers, nagkaroon lang ng delay with the delivery. There's really a shortage daw talaga worldwide pagdating doon sa demand, high demand in of routers. So ang target would be of sometime October. So mapapansin niyo siguro some of your teachers dun sa mga papasok on-site who will also be teaching parang flex. Ang mangyayari for most of the classrooms, they will only be ang connected lang in a classroom will probably be the teacher via local cable, local area network cable. But the students on site parang need not connect online. Again, except for the CTC wherein yun. And also yung it was mentioned earlier yung Bellarmine. I think those are dedicated for students who go on site and then may next class siya kunyari online. So there's no time for the student to go home and so yun yung Bellarmine classrooms mentioned earlier, the students can go there. Ngayon kung hindi sila comfortable, I think there are also known spots naman on campus na which has good internet connection. Ewan ko kung library, kung hindi naman masyado maingay, library, kung you might also want to check yung ano yung library sa may JGSOM? Mateo Ricci. You can try Mateo Ricci or yung some of the tambayan grounds natin dyan na may good Wi-Fi connection. Hope that answers the question.
Yeah,
Thank you,
thanks,
Sir JP.
Sir JP. The students are also concerned about their teachers doing flex classrooms. So what equipment though are we providing with for the teachers doing flex?
We've tried that out. Easily, we've determined that we will assist our teachers with number one. Could you help me out, Galvin? Ano yan? Dual Boya microphones.
So, Sir Galvin, are you
So
still
they
here?
can move around in front, even on the sides, para malakas yung pick up. Also, the students, when they try to participate online, they don't need to, unlike nung intersession, they would have to go up, stand up, then go in the middle of the class and speak sa isang mic stand. So I think ngayon ang understanding is wherever the student what wishes to participate or share something, kahit dun sa seat niya. So those students online naman can easily pick up what the on-site student is sharing. And then number two, there should be speakers in our classrooms para yun ang mga on-site students will be able to hear their classmates sharing naman yung nasa on-site. Kasi nga expectation is wala na tayo lahat laptops. Pag on-site tayo, hindi na tayo lahat naka-Zoom. So that's the connection of the teacher. Tapos yon. And then lastly, cameras. Tama, guys, cameras, Cameras, microphones, and then speakers. Now we're going to help our teachers in the next 2 weeks for them to try out all these connections. So I think we're going to invite them to just go on campus and then go to those classrooms and try connecting all those devices with their laptop. Anything you would like to add, Gals?
Wala naman. Maybe just to say that I think in our communication with the team of Sir Eli and the registrar's office, the priority will be for the flex classrooms to have all of those equipment. So if you're attending a course that's tagged as flex, you should be able to assume that all of those equipment for a flex setup will be in place.
Thank you, Sir Galvin. I don't think there are many flex classes because actually teachers are not comfortable with flex, no? So they chose either on-site or online. So what's gonna happen is that the few flex classes that are there will be prioritized for the classrooms that have flex capability, which are mostly in CPC. And the other thing I'd like to ask the students is please help your teachers because you're more technologically adept. So if you see your teacher struggling with the technology, please provide your assistance. Right. Sir JP, there's a question here on chat. I just realized that only the seniors have been on campus. So a junior is asking, how do you access OBF Wi-Fi? Is there a personal password?
Yes, give me a minute. I wasn't able to prepare for that. Can we go to the next question? If there's another one, I can look for our canned response. We have a canned response in our OMIS help desk.
Ivan, you have other questions for Sir JP?
Okay, sir. For Sir JP po, we have questions regarding enlistment. I think they directed this to OMIS because OMIS is in charge of the ISIS website. So first po is, how do they know that they have and why they have a hold order? And the next po is regarding, I think this was from an upperclassman who experienced the error during the intersession enlistment. Many students encountered problems during the intersession enlistment, particularly due to the problems in the site and the Blue Pass update requirements. So combined with the Blue Pass website error. So they're asking po if these issues were already resolved. So the first is regarding the hold orders, and the second po is regarding the ISIS website and the errors that are encountered during the previous enlistment periods.
Sige, we'll address the hold order. I think yung hold order is quite understandable. Ang medyo bago ng intersession would be the now mandatory filling out of course and faculty evaluation. Before it was just parang an invitation. Now that again, the guideline and the direction came from our upper management, just that we had to implement that in ISIS. So with that, you won't be able to go through enlistment without completing all your evaluations. Now, there are, of course, exceptions that of course, the system will not be able to detect. Simply, for example, there was a class, may cases na ganyan. Students complained that they were enrolled in a class na ang alam nila one teacher lang. But bakit last minute, they had to evaluate another teacher, hindi naman nila kilala. Just so happens yata that the original teacher had to parang file a leave of absence. So ang nag-input na ng grades nyo would be the replacement teacher. So considered siyang teacher pa rin. So the system detects that the students will have to evaluate too. So for those cases, understandable yan, just inform our office. We can do something about those. Tapos may cases naman, by default, we also remove the required evaluation of, I think, practicum, and then thesis classes. And also, of course, those classes that have TBA. Kasi we still have classes na parang yung teacher nila, TBA. So understandably, sinong i-evaluate nila? So those are automatically removed. So that's for the course and faculty evaluation. So I suggest the students who took classes ngayong intersession or probably also took classes ng second semester who have not completed the evaluation, I suggest that you complete your evaluation para hindi kayo ma-prevent from doing enlistment. The same way as updating your Blue PHR, it was also a mandatory requirement. So similar to updating your student information, diba? Just before. So you can do that, or those, a day or two before. Try doing them later or tomorrow morning.
Sir
So
JP,
yun. And then, yes.
There's a question here about where can they view the hold order.
The thing was, yung pagdating sa course and faculty evaluation, naging iba yung ano niya. Parang naging iba yung implementation. You won't be able to see those in when you go to the holds. I'll try to share my screen. Quickly lang. If I can share my screen, I prepared
Sir, do you have sharing powers pa?
I don't have na. I currently have.
Baka po the Zoom host can provide Sir JP hosting. For the screen sharing.
For everyone's information while we're waiting, si Sir Cholo put on the chat how to access the OBF Wi-Fi. It's actually very simple.
Yeah.
So please just check the chat for access to OBF.
To clarify lang din, Sir Leland, kasi marami pong freshies dito. The course evaluations are only for the upperclassmen. Baka po maghanap yung mga freshies natin ng i-evaluate na prof. Wala pa kayong professor, don't worry.
Okay, there you go.
Can you see my screen?
Yes.
So by default, ito yung mga normal natin, previous natin, mga usual hold orders, library. But for the first course and faculty evaluation, it won't appear here. So ang suggestion lang for the course and faculty evaluation, just simply go to the course and faculty evaluation link. Makikita nyo yung status ng evaluation doon. And then man nakalagay doon, not yet submitted. O kaya submitted, meron naman posted. Yung submitted, I think there are submissions, parang hindi pa final. You just have to click the parang submit button, parang ganyan. So, yun. Tapos, ang nakikita nilang napaprompt sila, I think before enlistment, pag-click nila nung enlist in class, doon sila napaprompt. Parang you have not completed your course and faculty evaluation. Pero when you go now, parang wala siya doon sa hold orders. The suggestion is, kung clear na yung hold orders, go to course and faculty evaluation, makikita niyo ito yung mga classes na classes mo previously, and then the status of the evaluation.
Thank you very much, Sir JP. Right. So I think we will move now to residence halls with Mr. San Andres. Thank you, Sir JP. And there was a question here. Hello, Mr. San Andres. I know you're very busy nowadays with dorm intake. At this point, you're full already, right?
Yes, but there have been new vacancies because of non-confirmation or withdrawals.
But I suppose you already have a wait list.
Yes, so we're sending out we have more than enough in the wait list.
Yeah. There's just some dormers asking, where incoming dormers have to go to campus even after the check-in dates. Do they fill up the car form to get in?
If they spend the night away or the weekend, for example, they went home for the weekend, they'll have to do that. But if it's just for the groceries or went to church, I verify that with campus security again. They're more lenient as long as they notify the lobby guard so that the lobby guard can radio campus security so that they'll be expected when they return from the grocery. But they do not have to do the campus access request if it is for a short trip.
I think, Mr. San Andres, the question is they're still coming in to bring in their things, but I think they missed the intake period, the check-in dates.
I'm sorry.
Can they come in? We are incoming dormers who have to go in and out even after the check-in dates. So if they're just going outside, that's no problem.
If it's just the grocery,
Okay.
they don't have to do the campus access. But if they're leaving for at least overnight, and they'll be coming back the following day, they'll have to do the campus access request. It's for our security personnel so that they won't get confused.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
2 questions here. What's the curfew of students staying in campus? And second, what happens to the dorm at alert level 2?
Yeah, our curfew is actually the campus curfew. It used to be much later, but since the pandemic, the campus gate closes at 10 p.m. So we have no choice. You have to come back. Otherwise, if it's safer for you to stay, say, at your friend's house with the permission of the parents, it may be better that way. Alert level 2, I think that's really more of a question for our health authorities, the university physician. So we just abide by their whatever the guidelines are. But in general, we are a little stricter in the dorm. So if it's alert level 2, we discourage people going around and then going out.
All right. Ivan, are we okay with Mr. San Andres?
I think po, there's just one question here. If students can still apply for on-site dormitories.
Well, as Leland has mentioned, we have a long waiting list. I'm about to send this is batch 3 of acceptance because we have already the numbers from the released slots. So we have to go to the waiting list first before new applications. It's much longer than the number of beds available.
Thank you, Mr. San Andres.
Okay, thank you.
Now we go to admission and aid, Dr. Tirol. Ivan, what questions do we have for Doc Joed?
Hello po, Doc Joed.
Hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon po. So there are a lot of questions po for OAA. Yes, siguro start muna po natin dito. So is it possible daw po, Doc Joed, for a financial aid scholar who initially received an allowance for transportation to be converted to off-campus dorm allowance? So I'm assuming po na nakahanap si scholar ng dorm and instead of commuting to school, magdo-dorm na lang po siya.
Mas malaki kasi yung binibigay sa off-campus dorm. Kasi mas mahal talaga ang dorm. Kaya bilang na bilang binigay namin ng off-campus dorm scholarships. So I guess if the student wants to convert it, kailangan dagdagan niya. Kasi we gave specific types of scholarships for different scholars. Yung isa, so kung transport allowance lang binigay namin, wala nang dagdag yan na dorm. So abunuhin na lang niya. We really cannot add anymore kasi we're running unlimited funds. Alam naman nila yan.
Opo, sir. So sir, that's a separate request po for the student to make.
For an off-dorm allowance?
Yes,
But they'll have to make that when they request, when they submit their scholarship update at the end of the school year.
Yes.
So for that school year, yun yun. Kung yun binigay sa kanya, yun talaga yun.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Sir, there's... sige po,
Go ahead, Ivan. Go ahead.
Sir, there are many questions po kasi dito regarding applications po ulit for students who are already enrolled. So, some po are asking if they can still apply for financial aid assistance by the start daw po of the next semester or
No.
by the next school year na po?
Okay, we can give financial aid support at the end of first semester only in emergency situations. And normally, if we did not give you any for the start of the school year, you can request at the end of the school year. Kasi again, we've already ordered everything. So kung may hahabol in the middle of the semester, malabo yan unless talagang emergency. Yan.
Is it less likely for students to get financial aid if they apply in second year?
We will review, of course, the request, but the default for someone requesting in their sophomore year is at most 50 TF. Default, unless again, the student's financial situation is really, really worsened, in which case we might give more than 50 tuition and fee. Yeah. But we will go case to case, student.
Now that we're back on site, Dr. Tirol, will scholars have service hours?
Yes.
Okay. And what usually are their responsibilities?
Iba-iba eh. Like kung dorm, may mga dorm porter yan. Alam ni Sir Rene yan. Normally, if I'm right, it's supposed to be 30 hours serving the front sa dorm. Pero otherwise, it's 10 hours lang in different offices on campus, like library or different departments and so forth and so on, as needed, as assigned to them.
Okay, thank you. Ivan, any other questions you want to highlight for Dr. Tirol?
Dr. Joed, Dr. Tirol, you also raised your applications po for the next school year. So, kasama po ba dun, Dr. Tirol, yung applications for dorm scholarships for the next year?
Yeah, they can request for dorm scholarships for the next year. But as you know, again, Sir Rene would say, kulang din yan. So that so long as we're at 75% capacity dorm, yung 3 out of 4 lang, bilang na bilang din yung dorm scholarships. We can only award what is available. Yan. Kasi otherwise, if we give more, saan pupunta yung mga yan?
Okay po. Dr. Tirol, we also have another question.
I know.
Rami po, sir. Actually, Dr. Tirol, we also have questions for the Q&A, pero later na yan, Doc Joed. Doc Joed, there's a question po on the minors and specializations that students might take or opt to take po. So I'll read the full question. So the scholar po is a merit scholar and they're interested in taking a minor or specialization in their sophomore year. So will the tuition and fees for the minor specialization be covered daw po ba by their scholarship, or if not, is there another way for them to cover it?
Yeah, that was the longest question. The answer is lahat na ako and we'll see.
So request po yun, sir, no?
Huh?
Request
direct request to me. Oh.
All right. Thank you very much, Dr. Tirol. So there might be more questions in the open forum, but for now, we'll go to Mr. Tats Kiblat of OSA.
Thank you.
So, Sir Tats.
Magandang hapon po.
Magandang hapon.
Hello po.
Okay. So,
hi, everyone.
Mga tanong para sa iyo, Sir Tats. Will Ateneo allow student orgs to hold on-site meetings or events this coming school year?
Yes, we have already allowed students to hold on-site meetings and events this intersession. And so we will continue with that. I think our facilities, they have allowed certain classrooms, especially in the CTC, to be reserved for meetings. And we've also allowed particular venues by request of certain activities subject to the OSA guidelines. So we have very detailed OSA guidelines. So if the student organizations want to hold events on site, they can just go to the OSA portal and all documents are there.
Okay, so the next question is, if they were approved to go fully online, can they participate in org activities and varsity activities on site?
For org activities, yes. If you are a member of the organization or the organization activities are open to attendees who are not members, yes, you can attend on site. Again, we screen the activities, and so we inform the organizations the limit of participation, the capacity of the venues, etc. So, but if you are enrolled and you want to participate in student activities, in org activities, yes, we have an org recruitment week coming. Our good leaders at COA are preparing for that, and especially to our freshmen, please look forward to our recruitment week.
Yeah, but just to clarify that, Sir Tats, no, the student was only allowed to take classes online for health reasons. But if they were allowed only to take classes online, they shouldn't be coming on site for org activities.
Yes. So in other words, if you're allowed to go on site, you can attend on site activities. But if you're not allowed to go on site, then you cannot.
Yeah. Will MVP open again?
I wish I know how to answer that question. We are preparing all the requirements that are needed. The MVP rooms are kind of small and not well ventilated. And so while, but we are still coming up with guidelines that will allow us to open it for the students. We will come up with an announcement soon.
Thank you, Sir Tats. All right. So we're done with the questions that you sent on the form. Maybe now we can go to the open forum and then just address some of the questions on chat. On chat, somebody asked me, are PE classes on site? I think most of them will be on site, but some of them will remain online, particularly the lecture classes. I think it's PE 101, if I'm not mistaken. And then there's another question about the EGPs. Will there be EGPs this coming sem? Actually, the EGPs have been operating since February, I think. Right. So with that, maybe Ivan, go ahead. What are the open forum questions and for whom?
Okay, sir. Sir, I've been receiving a lot of questions regarding ORSEM.
All right.
Opo. For ORSEM, sir, do you want to answer questions on ORSEM, or do we want to just
let's see if I can
redirect
answer them. If
Okay,
not,
sir.
then we will just email all of you.
Okay, sir. So, some of the freshies po are asking regarding absences in ORSEM, like will they incur like before absences in intact? Kasi that's what
No.
happened for junior our batch, right, sir? Or
No, they're encouraged to go to ORSEM, but it's not going to result in cuts.
Okay,
But
sir.
this is your opportunity to get to know Ateneo, what you need to know for the first day of class, get to know your blockmates. So I would highly encourage you to join the activities in ORSEM.
Okay,
Ito,
sir.
nag-flood na yung question sa chat.
Medyo maraming answer eh. Sir, for the open forum, Bern can also help us kasi may mga nag-PM din po sa kanya.
Okay, Bern. Any
Opo.
questions that are sort of general that we can address? I think there's a question here about entering the campus during ORSEM. The ORCOM will get in touch with you with regard to that procedure. Don't worry. No, they will take care of you. Okay, so all the ORSEM questions, they will get in touch with you. Yeah. Don't worry.
Ayan, sir, there's this question. Good afternoon. How will we freshies be allowed to enter the campus if we haven't received our official IDs yet? Nga naman.
Sir Cholo, do you have any answer to that?
For ORSEM, the ORSEM people will issue a car pass for the August 8 and 9 on-site ORSEM. Tapos we should be able to issue you your IDs. By the way, the deadline of application for freshie application is Saturday, August 6.
Okay, Sir Cholo, nag-mute ka.
Nag-mute ka po, Sir Cholo.
Yeah, sorry. The link to for your ID application for freshies. So we want to get all of your information already so we can start printing your IDs. But by the time classes start, you will also be already given access to the gate pass rather, the gate pass enrollment form. So you will need to apply for your gate pass, I think starting August 15, if I'm not mistaken. So that should allow you easy ingress into campus. So it's only the first few days, between August 10 to August 15, that we will need to align with campus security to allow you access into campus. But once you're inside premises, we won't be checking for IDs until the end of August, when we will have our strict ID enforcement already. Okay, yun muna.
Okay, thank you, Sir Cholo. All right. I saw a question here that maybe Doc MM can answer. How will we know if the class is restricted to online only? The tags found in the class schedule is only online or on-site.
Okay, so if you are an on-site student, then if a class is tagged as fully online and restricted to online students only, you will not be able to click on the enlist button. Okay, so same goes for an online class, an on-site class that is only restricted to on-site students, then fully online students will not be able to click on the enlist button.
Okay, so they'll only know during enlistment.
During enlistment, yes.
Okay.
I'm not sure with the class schedule. I don't really see the view of the students when they look at the class schedule. I'm not sure if it's also there. The tag is. I think the tag is also there, so they should be able to see the delivery mode of the class.
Yeah. But you're saying kasi Doc MM nakalagay lang doon online, but not whether it's restricted or not restricted.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't show that. Also for freshies, you don't worry because you are blocked. You don't need to choose the classes yet, except for PE and
NatSci.
NatSci, yeah.
Doc MM, while you're there, when will they know their pre-enlisted subjects? When will they know the schedule for their pre-enlisted subjects? Natawa si Doc MM.
Yeah, because they're still working on it. Usually we try to publish it 2 days before, but obviously this is the 2 days before and you're still not yet ready by half. So last year we were able to publish at dawn. Yeah, so if that's any indicator, then yeah, most likely on the day itself. I'm sorry about that.
I hope students understand that scheduling is really, really, really very difficult. And it's very very complex process.
Yeah, because we have to deal with the online, on-site thing. Yeah. Last year, wala yun.
So the promise is by the time you're about to enroll, you will see your schedule.
It will be better in the second sem, promise.
All right. Thank you, Dr. De Leon.
Thank you.
Ivan Burns, what else do you want to highlight?
Bern, baka medyo maraming questions dito.
Pick a question that's a little general.
Sige, go Bern.
Wait lang po. Let's
I assure you that all of these questions I told Sangu, maybe we can just answer them. They'll post the answer somewhere, no? But
yes,
yeah.
Just to clarify to everyone, there are a lot of questions here. Don't worry, ipopost po ng Sanggunian yung mga questions. We'll be releasing a frequently asked questions pub. So lahat ng mga questions that were asked to our administrators a while ago, earlier, and will be asked here, will be posted on the Sanggunian page. So please make sure to like the Sanggu page. No? And if there are questions that won't be addressed in this section, you can always message the Sanggunian we have our Facebook page, and then there's of course LS1. No? So there's also a frequently asked questions portion there. So a lot of the questions, minoring, shifting, etc., it's all there. No? So Sir Cholo and OSS did the compiled everything through that website. So go Bird, you have a question?
Siguro, wait, hold on.
There's
This
a
is for
question
PE.
here.
Oh, sige, sir.
Alert
Go.
levels rise. What would happen to the on-site classes? Actually, our current setup is still good up till level 2. Pag level 3, mababawasan yung silya sa classroom from around
online,
13, 16.
Leland, online na lahat kapag level 3.
Pag level 3, online na lahat. Okay, thank you, MM. Burns, go ahead.
Yes po. For this one po, I think it's from a freshie for PE. For the PE classes, will the students shoulder the materials they'll need for class?
We'll have to ask PE that. Maybe I'll just give Sangu the answer to that question.
Okay po.
Sir, we also have a question here. This is regarding the Blue Pass. So some are asking when they can generate the Blue Pass. They're asking also until when they need to use the Blue Pass and until when the daily health declaration in the Blue Pass, because in the Blue Pass there's a form that needs to be signed up po dun, diba? Like containing information on their health before they can generate their code. So what is the policy po regarding the Blue Pass implementation?
Sir Cholo, would you be able to answer some of those questions?
As of today, we have already how should I say it? Parang the health declaration is no longer required to generate your Blue Pass QR ID. I saw a question of Attorney Patty a while ago for incoming freshies who still don't have their IDs. How do they enter the gates? It's through the Blue Pass. So the Blue Pass, you're generating a Blue Pass is depending on your registration status. So you should be enrolled. So come later this week when enrollment starts, make sure that you are fully settled, hopefully by the end of this week, so we can already start working on your Blue Pass QR IDs. That also means that we should already have your information. So please submit your ID application to us because we will need your ID pictures. Because it's from my office, the OSS, that the Blue Pass gets the ID photos from when you generate your ID QR code. So make sure that you've already applied for your ID, submitted your ID photos, and hopefully, if things go smoothly for you, you are fully enrolled by before August 10, the start of classes. So you should be able to generate your Blue Passes already. The Blue Pass will be your temporary access into campus while you still don't have your physical IDs or while your current IDs still remain unvalidated. Okay, the Blue Pass will be in effect until such time that we will not need it anymore, which is when pretty much the gate passes will be fully issued, so you can your vehicles will come in and out of campus at any time. I also saw a question, about parking on campus. Yes, we definitely do not have enough parking slots for all students who bring in cars inside campus. So the old normal is back, meaning we will need to parking on campus is first come, first serve. Meaning, if you really want to secure a parking slot, you have to come to school early. But if your classes start later in the afternoon, it will be a little bit of a challenge to find the parking slot. And there are designated parking slots for LS students, for LS vehicles. Okay, there are different parking areas for employees and for students. So you will find this out as you go along, how limited the number of parking slots there are in campus. So we do highly encourage carpooling. So I hope our friends from BSWS can set up the carpool system as much as possible, or at the very least ride sharing. Kung hindi kaya yung carpooling, baka Sangu can also help us put up a system for ride sharing, di ba? Kung hindi pwedeng regular carpooling. Yun lang. Thank you.
Sir Cholo, while we're with you na po, there are questions po regarding the car sticker. So, kailan daw po sir pwede mag-apply for the car sticker and what's the process daw po for that?
The memo released by CSMO says that LS students may only start applying for the car gate passes by August 15. August 15. So I think they already took into consideration the bulk of applications coming in from the basic ed who started classes today. So there are long lines now at the Blue Eagle Gym kasi nag-apply yung mga grade schoolers and the high schoolers now at this time. So they give us konting palugid until 8 August 15. They will allow LS students to enter without the new gate passes yet. But from August 15 onwards, when the enrollment will be open for gate passes, please make it a point to apply early so that you get your gate passes early, because we will have strict implementation of the gate passes, I think, come second week of September. Or sorry, end of September, September 30 pala. For LS lang yan, for LS. Okay, so there.
Okay. Sir
Check out
Cholo.
the online application form for gate passes is VIMS. Shucks. I think it's VIMS. Sorry.
.ateneo.edu.
There you go. VIMS.ateneo.edu. Thank you, Sir Lilian.
Thank you, Sir Cholo. There's a comment here from Dean. Level 2 reduction in number of people indoors. 1.5 meter distancing and cyclical schedule. Okay, so hopefully we don't reach level 2. There's a question I saw that's very basic. When do classes start? Classes start August 10. Just a quick tip. Just search for LS calendar and then you will see the Loyola Schools calendar, the entire calendar for the school year. Dr. De Leon?
Yes, thank you. Because I'd like to add about certain policies about official enrollment, right? So in order to be officially enrolled, you have to be able to enlist in your classes and pay for what you have enlisted. Otherwise, you won't be able to secure your blue pass and you won't be able to apply for a sticker.
Okay, thank you, Dr. De Leon. There's a question here about what happens on the first day of classes. Is it online or on-site? The answer there is check Canvas. So the teachers will announce if the first class is online or on-site. If there's no announcement about whether the class is on-site or online, just send a message to the teacher to ask if it's online or on-site. Right?
Okay.
Ang daming tanong, but we're running out of time. So maybe we'll have to close the session, Ivan and Burns, and we'll just address the questions through something that we will post. Okay.
Yes.
So I'll turn it over to you, Ivan.
Yes po.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Thank you, Sir Leland, and thank you to our administrators who answered the questions of our fellow students. And of course, we are grateful to all of you, our fellow Ateneans, who sent in their questions.
Yes, so to wrap up our event, the officer in charge of the Office of the Vice President for the Loyola Schools and the Dean of the School of Social Sciences will be sharing some words to our community. So for her closing remarks, let us once again welcome Dr. Zarina Saloma Akpedano.
Thank you, Ivan. This afternoon's forum is a communication channel evolved to serve the needs of students for information and knowledge. As administrators, we would like that you have access to information that is rich, available, and efficiently communicated. Questions that have not been asked or were not answered today will surely be asked and answered. Various offices and the Sanggunian have their initiatives such as LS1 Help Desk and Sanggunian Facebook page. But the home department or home program should be your excellent stop for your search for information and guidance. Chairs and directors and secretaries are and should be the embodiment of the Ignatian characteristic of cura personalis, the care for the whole person. They would welcome you. Now, thank you once again to the Loyola Schools Sanggunian, our administrators, Ms. Bernice Mendoza, Mr. Ivan Nabong, and Dr. Lilan de la Cruz, our moderators. This morning at the orientation of new and returning faculty members, Dr. Marlu Vilches reminded us that Jose Rizal did say that he spent many happy years in the Ateneo. So like Rizal, may you spend many happy years in the Ateneo and have many opportunities for heroic leadership. Happy start of the school year.
Thank you once again, Dean Bo Peep. To close our forum, someone has a special message for us. Unfortunately, he cannot join us today since he is en route to represent our university in the Assembly of the International Association of Jesuit Universities in Boston College, Massachusetts. Here with a recorded video message is the Sangguniang President, Mr. Tristan Joseph A. Alcantara.
I think we're just waiting for TJ Alcantara's message. But before TJ's message, I just want to inform again everyone that we are taking note of all of the questions here that were not answered. Rest assured, we'll strive to answer them through our Facebook page, through the frequently asked questions pub that we will be posting on the Sanggunian ng mga Mag-aaral Facebook page. No? So just stay tuned for that. We'll try to release it as soon as possible so that all of you may be guided. And again, if you have questions, there are many people who can help you address those questions aside from the Sanggunian. Like what Dean Bo Peep said a while ago, there are your home departments who can answer your questions, and the LS1 also. So there are many platforms where you can reach out to for so that your questions can be addressed. So I think we are now ready for the Sangguniang President's message.
Okay, we can play it now, no?
Good day to my fellow Athenians. This is TJ, and I would like to thank you for attending the Ask LS First Semester Forum. I would have loved to attend this event with you live, but I can't because I will be attending the Assembly of the International Association of Jesuit Universities at Boston College, Massachusetts, with Father Bobby and Dr. Vilches. Nevertheless, I would like to reiterate that we are here in Sangu to support and always stand with you as we enter a new adjustment period in our lives. We understand that there might be some uncertainty and doubts, but know that we are in this together, and we will walk with you as we find answers to our questions. At the same time, we are excited because this might be the last fully online forum that we will be hosting as we look forward to embracing the hybrid setup and doing more of our projects and initiatives with you face to face. The past 2 years have been a call to be more creative and innovative in everything that we do. And surely, we cannot simply go back to where we were or what we were used to before. This is a time for us to do better and be better. Finally, I wish you all safety and good health. Perhaps one of the most important things that I learned in our community is the value of asking. Sabi nga, wag mahihiyang magtanong. We hope that through this forum, we were able to build more confidence in you, that you have a community willing to listen and help with your concerns. Magtanong lang kayo. Again, thank you, and here in Sangu, we are always here for you.
Thank you, TJ, for those inspiring words. That's a great way for us to close our event, no? But before we do end, though, we encourage everyone to answer the evaluation form that the Sanggunian prepared. So, yes, we're now seeing the evaluation form link in the slides. I think it's just loading, but there, now we can see it. So, this will help us in improving these types of programs that we will be facilitating and helping in handling in the future.
Yes, and just a reminder, this is an evaluation form, so don't send your questions there. You can send the questions through the contact information that Alden from from Sangu Office of the President sent through the chat kanina lang. And for now though, hold on. To answer the evaluation form, you can scan the QR code that you are seeing on your screen right now, or you can go to sangu.org/askls First Sem Evals. Again, that is sangu.org/askls First Sem Evals.
All right. And with that comes the end of the #AskLS first semester forum. So again, the Sanggunian extends its thanks to all of you, our fellow students who came to this event. Maraming salamat sa inyo. We also give our special gratitude to the Loyola Schools administrators who joined us for this forum. And also especially to Dr. Lilan de la Cruz who helped in moderating this event. Thank you po. Maraming salamat.
And finally, should you have any other questions or concerns na address man sila kanino or you want some clarification on them, you can contact us through our email sanggunian.ls@obf.ateneo.edu. You may also contact your respective school sanggunians, and the Sanggunian is excited to take this step back onto the campus with all of you. And we hope to see you soon. Once again, my name is Bernice Mendoza.
And my name is Ivan Abong. We hope to see you all on campus. Thank you and goodbye.
Goodbye, everyone. Thank you.
Again, if you have questions, just direct it to the Sanggunian. We'll make sure to
Yes.
address them.
Thank you, everyone. See you soon. Campus life. Wow, Ivan. Are you excited?
So excited.
So excited. I saw Ivan before. Mga one time. Okay. Yes, thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Good job, Ivan and Bernice.